All right, everyone. I hope y'all enjoyed our nice little 10-minute break. We are going to be continuing things on. So if you grabbed a snack or you grabbed some water, go ahead and take your seats now, because I am so incredibly excited about our next speaker. Joining me on the stage, we have Greg Dalby, SVP of Omnichannel at Milkbar, and he is going to be talking about creating subscriptions that customers flock to buy every time. So let's give a warm round of applause.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. I know that I'm 2 or 3 stops from you in the after party, so bear with me as I go through this. I hope you get something out of it, but wanted to talk about subscriptions, memberships, and a way you can create some really compelling moments to bring people back to your brand, bring people back to buying your products on a regular basis. So we'll jump right in. A little bit about me. I've been leading e-commerce teams for about 15 years. I've worked at some amazing brands and had the pleasure of working at some killer brands like Oakley, Fender, and now at Milkbar. I lead our online retail and wholesale businesses here at Milkbar. If you don't know Milkbar, we're a dessert shop founded by our James Beard Award-winning founder, Christina Tosi. We opened up in 2008, so we've been around for 16 years. We're celebrating our Sweet 16 this year, and we've got a loyal fan base we've developed ever since then. Today, I want to talk about how we launched an exclusive subscription program that we can't stop selling out, and how we've leveraged our fans to drive awareness of that, drive engagement and joy, which is part of what we do as a brand. When I'm done, I hope you're able to get some of this and learn how to build some authentic relationships with your subscription members, create insanely engaged members, and leverage your audience more effectively. So to start, a little bit about Milkbar, as I mentioned, founded by Christina Tosi. She's a celebrity chef in her own right. She's been seen on Netflix. She has her own show on Amazon. She's done shows with MasterChef with Gordon Ramsay. She's been on The Chef Show. We have the fortune of having a celebrity chef founder, which is a bit of a hack when you're growing a brand. It's something we leverage very regularly to make sure that people know about Milkbar. But what we really exist to do is become the most beloved brand in the world, beloved dessert brand in the world, I should say. We'll get to beloved brand one day. We have a history of really bringing some unique products to market that you can't find elsewhere. Innovation is at the core of what Milkbar does and what we bring to the market. We love showing up in unexpected ways with our flavors, with our formats. We've got pies, we've got ice cream, we've got cookies, we've got cakes. We've got everything that basically is bad for your diet at this point. So we love bringing those products out. We love developing new flavors like cherry cola cake and blueberry muffin cake, things that people don't expect and things that people might not be able to find anywhere else. We have the most passionate fans in the world, in my opinion. People love talking about Milkbar. People love going to Milkbar. People love being inside the Milkbar bakeries. We see people talk about it on social media on a regular basis. People show up for all kinds of events at our bakeries. My favorite thing here is this young lady who rebuilt one of our bakeries with Legos because she loves going to the Milkbar location. So we know we've got a Milkbar fan base that loves what we do. They love our products. They love the brand. And making sure that everything we do as a brand stays core to serving those customers and serving those fans well is incredibly important for us. So when you have really great products, you have really passionate fans, and you've got a great brand, what do? Well, you try and find a way to create some recurring revenue, right? And we saw it in the world that there's plenty of subscription programs out there. I get my coffee delivered to me every single month from the same company. I've been doing it for 10 years. It's great. We love that. And we wanted to figure out how can we bring something like that to the Milkbar fan base. So the challenge that we had, we wanted a way for our most loyal customers to connect with us. Something that was more than just getting a box of the same treat every single time. Not to say that it's not great to get a box of Milkbar cookies on your doorstep every month, but we wanted to create something that was truly special. How do we bring a monthly membership to Milkbar fans that feels truly authentic and exciting to the brand? And that was the challenge for us that we wanted to unlock there. And as we started to think about the ways that we could bring this to our customers, we started with the fans. What would they love? What were the things that they would be excited about if we were to bring it out? And we know that everyone loves a celebration. 60% of the people who buy from us online are buying and shipping to someone else. We know that during times like Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, people are walking through the doors of our bakeries to bring something to another location. They're going to someone else's house for a celebration, whether that's a birthday, a Thanksgiving dinner, a graduation celebration. We wanted to bring that core, authentic celebration vibe to what we were doing online and make sure that every time something showed up on the Milkbar fans' doorstep, it felt a bit like a celebration. We also know that we're all about shaking up the dessert scene. If you're not familiar with Milkbar products, we do some things that are a bit off the wall. We've done collaborations with Taco Bell where we developed our strawberry corn truffles. If you've watched the Ted Lasso show, we've redone the Ted Lasso biscuits that were an iconic part of that show. And even some of our longest running products like cereal milk soft serve really are a truly unique take on sweet treats, something you can't find somewhere else. So we know that people love celebrations. We know that we want to make it feel unique every time something shows up. We know that we have a history of building unique, delicious products that people love to enjoy. So what do we take from that? How do we develop a subscription program that changes things up for those fans and gives them something more every month when the box shows up on their doorstep? With that, we answered with the First Bite Club Delivered. This is a spot at the tasting table behind the scenes in the Milkbar universe. Monthly deliveries of limited edition products that you simply cannot get anywhere else before they hit our official menu. The base thing for us, it was also our highest priced product that we'd ever put online. 6 months was sold for $315, 3 months was sold for $175. We wanted to make sure that if we were bringing something that had this high of a price point, that our customers saw the intrinsic value in it, they saw the value it bringing for having a box on their doorstep every month, and to really build and make sure that value was there, we wanted to make sure that the story resonated well with our customers. And for us, making sure that they understood the ethos behind how we created these desserts every month was incredibly critical. We spend hours upon hours developing new formats, flavors, recipes of our desserts, and we stand around the table in the back of our commissary every single week tasting these innovations, understanding if maybe a little bit cinnamon will make this cake pop a little bit more. Do we need to add a little bit more butter into this buttercream in order for it to be just as delicious as we expect it? And we wanted a way that we could say, hey, we want to bring our best fans to that tasting table experience and do that through our online products. So we said, this is the way that we can bring it in. This is the way that we can bring them to the tasting table. We're going to put those products on their doorstep every month. Hopefully we get some great feedback out of it and we can learn from that, helping craft what comes next on our menus. So why First Bite Club Delivered? As I mentioned, we want to engage and foster this membership community. We want to make sure that our most loyal, experimental, and passionate customers have the opportunity to test things before they hit the menu. We can get their feedback and we can bring that into the next phase. We use it as a testing ground, as I mentioned. We get these feedback pieces exclusively from our consumers. And the best thing of all when you're running an online business, we don't have to discount. We don't run any discounts on the First Bite Club Delivered. We don't have to run 15% off when you give us your email address. We can sell these products full price all day long. And we knew that that was something that would, we felt there was an opportunity for us to really make sure our customers got the most value out of that. All of that to say, when 80% of the people buying this product have bought Milkbar products online before, how do we make it really special? As I mentioned, we wanted it to feel like a celebration. We wanted it to feel authentically different than everything else they may order from us on milkbarstore.com. So, we take the experience to the next level. We developed some specific packaging for our products. Tape might seem simple, but these little elevations of how the box showed up really created a celebratory moment for those customers when they got that box. It looks different when it shows up from everything else they've ordered. We know that most of these customers have seen a Milkbar box on their doorstep before. We developed some stickers that we would throw on the outside of the box, and we'd also toss inside as well. For the first batch of customers that joined the First Bite Club Delivered, we also gave them a Founders Club member mug that they were that only the founding members would get. So it's really just an opportunity for us to say, how do we make that celebration feel very authentic? How do we make sure that that box that's showing up every month feels unique and special for those customers? But secondly, we thought that there was an opportunity to converse with our customers in a different way. As I mentioned, when we're standing around the tasting table, we're talking about what products maybe need to have a little bit more cinnamon, a little bit more butter, but we want to have the conversation around the why. Why did we develop this product? What was the story? What was the inspiration for this month's tasting? So every month, we also started a series called Between Two Mixers that our founder, Christina, and our head of culinary innovation would show up and talk about the story behind every month's product. What's the inspiration for this? What's got them excited about bringing this to the First Bite Club Delivered? Why are we excited to put that on the table of our customers and make sure they're seeing the value in what they're paying for every month? We get tons of feedback about these videos. We get emails directly back, and it also helped to kind of inspire the customer's view of that product. If we just put the product in front of them without much context, it doesn't give opportunity for them to really understand the why, the inspiration, and the dream behind every product that we put in these boxes. So we go through all of this. We know where we want to go. We've got an idea of how we want to bring these products to market. What does it take to get there? I think as marketers, which most of us in the room are, we have a lot of ideas of how we want to bring new products out. We know the way that we want to attract people to these products. We know the ways that we want to make sure that people are getting excited about them. But I think it's easy to forget that when you bring out a product like this, when you're doing something out of the normal operations, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time to make sure that you've got the backbone built, you've got your operations, your tech, everything processed out that you can make sure that you're putting these boxes, again, every month on the right doorstep at the right time with the right product inside. So we started working with Skio. Skio provided the tech backbone of our recurring order system. Subscription management provided a portal for our customers. They were great partners for us. We loved working with them. We also had to develop a product pipeline. We had a 6-month rolling menu of our innovations in order to make sure that we could plan for raw materials, production planning. These were not products that we're making on a regular basis. We had to make sure that we had ready available stock of the raw ingredients. We had production planning figured out on a monthly basis on top of all of the things that we were already doing in our commissaries. And lastly, easy to forget, but operations. How do you put cakes, croissants, sticky buns? How do we make sure that we're getting those out the door in the right box every month, make sure they've got the right level of insulation to ship across the country, all the way from New York to potentially California and show up in good condition? How do we make sure that we've got our 3PLs planned for that, updating fulfillment logic, labor planning, all of it? I can't understate how important it was for us to really take the time and understand what it would take to build a outside the norm product plan for this program. And I think it's something that can get forgotten when we get so excited about the potential of what a subscription program or a membership program may mean for the growth of a business. So all of that to say, what happened? We do all this work, we figure out our operations, we figure out the tech side, we do all this marketing internally to our customers, and what happened? We sold out of all of our memberships in one day with no paid media spend. We exclusively reached out to customers that we knew were high-value customers who shopped with us most often. The word got out a little bit, so we had a few people who were able to jump in, even if they hadn't bought from us before, which is okay. We won't say no to them. We saw that customers that were joining First Bite Club Delivered were also spending about 400% more than members, than non-members. And what we saw is it wasn't just about the dollars that they were spending for the First Bite Club Delivered. They started to buy more often as a result of being part of First Bite Club Delivered. That box was a reminder every month that someone's birthday was coming up next month, that graduations were happening. Having that product showing up, really, we were able to see that our customers came back more often as a result of that. We would actually see day after spikes when the boxes were put on the doorstep, that those customers would then spike and come back to our website to place another order and schedule in advance for an event or a celebration. And lastly, we had a 92 Net Promoter Score from FBCD members. It's incredibly important to us that our consumers have a great experience, obviously. We sell a premium product. We expect a premium experience for them. And for us, understanding what they loved about the program, what they didn't like about the program, what they thought of the products was incredibly important. But it wasn't too hard for us to get that feedback, luckily. Even though we had consumer surveys going out, it wasn't enough for us to just say that we're getting these feedbacks points internally. Our fans told us that they loved it. It became kind of an internal ceremony for us to wait and see when the first post would pop up on Instagram and on TikTok of people who got their product on their doorstep. people wanted to share this story. They wanted to share this exclusive thing that they were being brought behind the doors of to the tasting table. We saw constant social media posts about these products the day that they hit. This was from our first month, the sticky buns that we sent out, and people were raving not only about the taste, the flavor, but the experience. You can see in the bottom middle there, they're showing off their welcome to the club card along with the product. People were proud to be a part of this program. They were excited to share that they were part of it. We got customer feedback by the droves. I love this one, that it would be a violation of the Geneva Convention if we can only have these once. And even, I love this one as well. This member actually put her card up on her cubicle at work to show off that she was a First Bite Club member. So we really wanted to harness the power of that social feedback, that customer feedback, not only internally, but in what we were getting externally from them as well. It was a great program that we launched with, again, a ton of planning, a ton of work to make sure that we were delivering an authentic experience. So all of that to say, if you're thinking about something like this, if you want to go out and you want to create a recurring revenue stream for your business, I think there's plenty of worlds that you can go out and create a subscribe and save program. But if you want to build something truly unique, and it's, for lack of a better word, with sticky buns, sticky, I think that you got to build that membership around a story that's authentic to your brand. It's not enough in today's day and age to think that you're going to scale a program and really monumentally grow your business on the back of a $10 or 10% discount from your every order. I also think that you got to take that experience to the next level. We really went in with the ethos that we were going to give more to our members than we got back from them. We want to give them the content, we want to give them the stories, we want to give them the inspiration, and make it truly feel like they're being brought behind the scenes, being a part of the Milkbar story. And what we got out of that was tremendous. And lastly, create a reason for those fans to share and signal boost. We all live in a world of rising CACs, rising CPAs. It's hard to build a business right now. I think it's getting harder by the day when we look at the ways that the world is changing. So if you can create those reasons for fans to talk about your brand, there's no better marketing in the world than word of mouth. I still believe that, even though we all live in a world that we operate online, we run businesses, in a lot of ways, straight through Meta and Google. That word of mouth advertising goes a long way to making sure that you create something really meaningful to your customers, something that's going to be very true to your brand, and something that they want to come back for again and again and again. That's all for me. Any questions?
You know the drill. Raise your hand and I'll toss your hand into the box.
Hi, thank you. We're also trying to scale our membership program at True Classic. I'm curious if you have membership perks other than the monthly subscription box, and what you tested, what's worked and what has not worked.
I think for us, we have the pleasure of being an omni-channel business. We have our bakeries, we've got wholesale, we've got online, and so we very much used our membership as a way to use events to add some value for that. So exclusive access to events at our bakeries was one big piece that we like to market there. We haven't gone beyond that at this point. I think there's plenty of opportunities to think about the ways that you may want to do that as a brand. But for us, those in-store events add a lot of excitement for those customers. They feel a lot of value in being exclusively invited in. And that for the people that are near our bakeries and we can invite them in to actually do something like a tasting, it really elevates the experience for them. So that's one that has been very successful for us.
How do you handle customers who have different flavor preferences from month to month? If you're selling a monthly subscription box, does everyone always like what they're getting? Can they choose? Do you allow that?
We don't allow them to choose. We don't change it up on account of anyone. I think that's part of the joy that people get out of it, actually, is that there's a bit of a surprise coming every month. And there may be some months that someone may not like, I don't know, cinnamon for whatever reason, right? But we have seen that people sometimes have, for example, dietary restrictions that we can't work around, and quite often what they'll do is gift that box to someone else for the month. So I think that sharing mentality is very core to our ethos. So for the people that maybe don't love a product or they simply can't eat it, there's very much a sharing mentality around that. But it is feedback that we take in. If we get negative feedback about the certain flavor profiles, we use that to help obviously refine our product development in the future. But no substitutions, no changes. You get what you get.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Curious to hear you talk more about the no discount policy, because I think it makes a lot of sense as an established brand that you guys could launch with no discounts. But I'm curious if, as you look towards, I don't know, the future of the club, is that something that you would ever entertain, or you feel firm about that? Because I think it's really interesting.
It's an interesting question. I think there may be a point I would never say never. Would we think about it? I think we've talked about it, and the thing that we came to is we have trouble just scaling operationally enough to support the current membership spots that we have, right? You can't even join the club right now. We don't have enough scale for that. So when you're in that nice position of having more demand than supply, I don't think there's any reason to discount. If we were to more broadly try and scale this program, I think there's a world that you may consider it, but you also have to really think about the downstream effects for those people who already bought in at the full price rate if you start advertising a discount on that. So if we were to go down that path, I'd want to be very tactical about the way that we advertise that, and I want to make sure that we're not putting that discount front and center where existing members could see that discount is available.
Who wants it? Here we go.
Hi, I was curious, so if your supply curve, say, could handle, 2, 3, 4 times the current production for the subscription, how do you think about scarcity? Do you think that adds a lot of value by having it be more exclusive, or would you scale this indefinitely if you could handle the levels of production?
I think there's very much something to scarcity. And the fact that we can advertise how quickly it sells out and how few membership spots are available really drives a lot of demand. There's a point of diminishing returns on that, obviously. We're not near that yet. We're well off from that. But what I would say is the scarcity is a tactic we use to help market the program. We certainly want people to know that spots are limited. We also pretty effectively market to people who have a lapsing subscription, that if they lapse out, we're not holding their spot. So the churn turns out to be incredibly low because of that as well. So I would probably lean right now towards the scarcity side of it. And especially if we started thinking about, to the point earlier, can we discount this product? Is that margin accretive, right? We live in a world that we all need to be thinking about margin impact. If we were to say that this could be a scaled program, do we end up with more margin selling something maybe at 15% off at a higher volume? But right now, I would much more rather lean on the scarcity end of that rather than trying to scale up. And candidly, I don't want to advertise that we have open spots available.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. Thank you.
If you're selling out in one day at your price point, are you effectively discounting by not charging more?
That's a good question. I mean, I think there's a world that we say, what's the right value that everyone's going to get out of that box, right? I don't want to sell something for $3,000 that someone doesn't see the value in every box that shows up on their doorstep, right? So I think that when we thought about pricing, we wanted to make sure of two things. A, that it was in line with some of the other products that we sold at the size and format that was going to show up in the box. These are fans who know our products. They know our pricing. They know what our birthday cakes and our truffles cost. So they're familiar with what we typically charge. I think that we would be doing ourselves a disservice to overcharge for a product that's driven mostly by fans who really love it. Could we charge more of a premium? Sure, and there may be a better point on the bell curve for us to be at right now. But I think the worst possible thing that we could do is have someone get a box, open it up, and say, really, that's it?
All right, yeah. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
All right, who else? Going once? Going twice? He's got one more.
What's the plan to expand operations?
Got to bake more cakes. Got to buy more sugar. It's not easy. If there's one thing I've learned, making food is it's a difficult process, right? It takes oven space. It takes labor. It takes space to set out cookie trays and cut cake slices out. It's not easy to do that when you're scaled for a certain level of operations. So it's not easy. It takes a lot of planning. It takes time. It takes reconfiguring culinary spaces in order to support that. So I would say that that's, without a question, the biggest challenge in front of us is being able to scale that effectively without incurring significant additional costs. That was one of the best benefits of this program, is we didn't have to scale up from where we were in terms of an operations standpoint. Now we're at the point where you have to say, well, is the investment to scale that up worth it? Are we going to see the returns on that?
All right, thank you, Greg. Give him a round of applause.